Hey, welcome everybody. Mark from Rams Up here. I have my pregame pulse here for you a few hours before this Rams Cardinals game. Some final thoughts. How am I feeling about this game? I'm going to have some predictions for you, and I'm going to try to give you a little bit of hope as well. Even changed my hat here and my shirt, went back a decade or two, trying to change things up, reverse the fortunes of our Los Angeles Rams. We'll see if it works. First thing we got to do is go through some roster news here. The Rams have pulled up Justin Dedich from the practice squad, a very versatile offensive lineman, kind of makes sense. And they have also added Nikola Kalinick, the tight end. Davis Allen is not good to go for this one. So the Rams opting to roll with three tight ends. It'll be Colby Parkinson, Hunter Long, and Kalinick. And the biggest surprise of all, at least for me, probably for everybody, Russ Yeast waived. The Rams have waived their former seventh-round draft pick. He was a big part of this defense for 2 years. They have added Cam Lampkin to the active roster to replace Russ Yeast. Really sad to see him go. I thought he was a pretty good player, but what do I know? The Rams obviously like what they see in Cam Kinchins and decided it was time to move on from Russ Yeast. Interestingly, adding Cam Lampkin to this 53-man roster means the Rams have count them, five rookie defensive backs, and four of them are undrafted free agents. They only drafted one among them, Cam Kinchins, and you got Jalen McCullough, Josh Wallace, Charles Woods, and now Cam Lampkin. Five rookies, four undrafted defensive backs. So let's check in on this offensive line. That's been the biggest area of concern for all of us, right? And Rams are finally sorting things out, at least for this week. They announced a couple days ago, that Warren McClendon would get the start at left tackle because Rob Havenstein is good to go. Jonah Jackson and Kevin Dotson are starting left and right guards are there, although Jonah technically might have been considered a starting center for the blink of an eye maybe. But Jackson's back at left guard, Dotson at right guard, and Bo Limmer, the sixth-round draft pick, will start at center as he did last week. Actually got plugged in after Avila went down, played really well. So Bo Limmer gets another run at it, and I feel okay about this offensive line. It's obviously not ideal, but feel pretty good about it. I still think they're going to have to help out Warren McClendon a little bit, I would assume. And this is probably a good time to catch the Cardinals because their pass rush is not that formidable. Knock on wood. I think this offensive line will be okay. I'll talk more about what we need to do with regards to this offensive line when I get to my predictions here in a minute. So probably worth revisiting who the Rams inactives were last week. They'll announce this week's inactives 90 minutes, hour and a half before the game, so I don't have that yet. But last week it was running back Cody Schrader, who they signed after he was released by the 49ers. That was the move that led to Zach Evans' removal from the practice squad. Outside linebacker Brennan Jackson. Hopefully we see him eventually. Inside linebacker Elias Neal. Rob Havenstein was on that list. He will not be this week, obviously. And then Deshaun Johnson. I think we'll see a very similar list. Not sure who that fifth guy will be. If it could be another offensive lineman, maybe an additional defensive back, perhaps. So there you have it. Rams juggling the roster a little bit, and none of these moves really surprised me, except for the Russ Yeast that kind of came out of nowhere. But elevating the tight end and an offensive lineman made perfect sense. That's what I would have predicted, a offensive lineman and tight end, and that's exactly what the Rams did. Now, as far as giving you some hope for this game, last week I tried to give us some hope, pointing out that Matthew Stafford is one of the best play-action quarterbacks in the league, and the Detroit Lions struggle against the play-action. So what would you expect the Rams to do? Perhaps establish the run and go to play action. Didn't really see a whole lot of that. I don't have the numbers, but That was obviously not a focus of their game plan. So let's move on to this week. What do we have this week? The Matthew Stafford is one of the best quarterbacks against zone defenses. So there you have it. And the Cardinals are one of the worst. I should say the Cardinals run the zone as much as anybody. I think the sixth most. So that would lean in the Rams' favor, you would think. Doesn't mean the Rams have to do anything in particular to exploit that, just a stat that seems to favor the Rams. And worth noting also, another small stat for you. Last week, Josh Allen of the Bills threw a total of, count them, 5 incompletions against the Cardinals. 18 of 23, I think, was the number. So Stafford could have a very good day. I hope the Rams lean on the run, but if they do the McVay thing and throw the ball all over the field, could be a good day for Matthew Stafford. So let's move on to my predictions. I have 5 predictions for the Rams offense against this Cardinals defense, 5 for the Rams defense stopping the Cardinals defense, and I have a special teams prediction. Some of these probably kind of obvious, some of them maybe not so much. My first prediction for the Rams offense, Blake Corum. Yes, Blake Corum, the rookie running back, gets his first carry. Wouldn't that be nice? We all expected that last week. Blake Corum and the Lions preseason phenom Sione Vaki combined for 0 carries. Blake Corum gets his first carry this week. My second prediction is Jordan Whittington. Now, he had that jet sweep touchdown that was called back, so he did get some snaps. Puka Nacua is out. Jordan Whittington, I'm going to go pretty conservative here. I'm saying he's getting his first catch, his first NFL reception. I think he could end up with a few more than that. He's going to be getting a bunch of snaps. I can guarantee you that. Well, there, I just gave you another guarantee, another prediction. But Jordan Whittington gets his first NFL catch. My third prediction for this Rams offense, they rush for over 135 yards. That will be primarily Kyren, but Rams are going to move the ball on the ground. I'm almost certain of it. And my fourth prediction, this Cardinals defense does not have a really formidable pass rush. As I said, they had 0 against the Bills. I think they will get 1 against this Rams offensive line, which would be a pretty good day for this Rams line because, they've had a lot to overcome. They're playing with 2 subs. Warren McClendon, you could technically call him a third-string left tackle, and a rookie center. I think they're going to be okay. Hopefully they can play cohesively and smartly, and the Rams give this offensive line a little bit of help, limit the damage, limit the number of hits on Matthew Stafford. And my last prediction for this offense, the Rams will score at least 3 touchdowns. My original prediction was Rams 23, Cardinals 20, and I'm not going to change that. I got to stick with it. But don't be surprised if the Rams put a 30 spot up on the Cardinals. They could really let loose on this, I don't want to say mediocre, but this is not a defense that really scares me. Rams offense is going to put some points on the board. What about the Rams defense? Now, the Bills got to Kyler Murray 4 times. I think the Rams will get to him at least 3 times. These edge rushers, these young guys on the Rams defense really impressed me last week, and they're going to get after him. Now, as I mentioned in my Cardinal Ram preview, they got to be disciplined. He's going to gash us. He has a potential to really gash us with his legs, so we got to be smart about it. But I still think we get to him at least 3 times. My second prediction for the Rams defense is I think James Conner and Trey Benson are going to have their moments, and they're going to combine for over 100 yards. And you're going to have to tack on Kyler Murray's rushing yards on top of that. I think the Cardinals will move the ball on the ground. I really do. The Rams have not demonstrated to me quite yet that they have nailed that down. I thought they might activate Corey Durden for this game. It'll be interesting to see if they bring Raul Murchison back at some point when he's ready. But still concerned about the interior of this defensive line. The Cardinals will move the ball on the ground. I hope I'm wrong on this one because Connor, Benson, and Murray, man, they could really do some damage, shorten the game, put the Rams in a bad spot. And what else? I think the Rams will have an interception. I think they're going to get after Murray. They're going to force a mistake. He's going to try to force the ball to Marvin Harrison, and the Rams secondary will have an INT in this one, guaranteed. My fourth prediction, this Rams defense versus the Cardinals offense. I think Greg Dortch is going to be the receiver you have to be concerned about on this Cardinals offense, and I think he's going to have his moments. He will be the Cardinals' leading receiver. And who else do you have to worry about there? Marvin Harrison Jr., the rookie, who had one catch for, was it 4 yards, 14 yards, whatever it was? And Michael Wilson, the second-year player out of Stanford. He's a big receiver, red zone threat for sure. But Greg Dortch is the guy to watch out for. And my final prediction for this Rams defense, I think they'll hold the Cardinals to 20 points or less, which falls in line with my prediction, Rams 23, Cardinals 20. I think this Rams defense, they really have the potential to be, I hate to use the word elite, but man, they really do. They just have to slow down the running game between the tackles, and this would be a good game to start. And my final prediction, going over to special teams, Joshua Carty. I really liked his approach, really watching him closely. And I think the announcers mentioned this against Detroit. Reminds me of a guy with a really good golf swing, and something some of our previous kickers did not do. Not emphasizing, trying to kick the heck out of the ball on every field goal. Just a nice swing, make really good contact, hit that sweet spot, and the ball will go true. And that's what Joshua Carty appears to be doing. And I feel much better. It's just one game. I think he hits a 40-yarder, a 40-plus yarder in this game. Joshua Carty starting to arrive as the Rams kicker, finally solving our kicking woes. Ever since Matt Gay left, it's been a real big question mark. No more Joshua Carty hits a 40-yarder. It's not going to be a game winner because the Rams are going to have this game well in hand early in the fourth quarter. That's it. That's my week 2 pregame pulse here out here from Rams Up.